Now this is family fun in the 50s. Here we have a typical American family at Disneyland, and beautiful Kodachrome footage, color footage, as you can see. The TWA rocket to the moon is there, still there, and this is decorated for Christmas. This is 1955, the first year. They have black swans there at the castle, and you can see that the Fantasyland is extremely colorful. The color palette has changed significantly, and you can see there also that the Dumbo ride does not yet have Timothy Mouse or any of the things that cover up the arms of the ride. But the landscaping is a little bit better here in this section of Storybook. Now, there's Monstro. And of course, the teacups. Changed these sky buckets. These were the original design, and it's the Atlantic Richfield symbol hanging there. There were a lot of sponsors at Disneyland in the original opening because Disney couldn't afford the park himself, so he brought in corporate sponsors all over the place, and a lot of those are gone now, but there's still a few. And some of the individual restaurants were actually owned by individual people as well. And they kept the concession on that. They were eventually all bought out. The canoes were brought on board because of the popular Davy Crockett TV show at the time. There's Fort Wilderness. And they hired Native American dancers to perform in the Frontierland area. There's the stagecoach ride, which was there for a few years. And the Wonderland Cavern train, which has now been replaced by Big Thunder Railroad. Much more quaint park, a lot less slick, much more natural, not nearly as crowded as you can see. The crowds are, if you go to find a crowd like this at Disneyland today, you're having a good day. There's the mule pack train, which you could actually ride an actual burro around on a trail. And sometimes those animals will get a little testy, so that the ever almost tilting rock. The mule pack was there, train ride was there until 1973, so it lasted quite a while. Here we are again with the cattle cars. It does not look comfortable. I don't know about you, but I remember my first time on the Jungle Cruise and I was scared to death. the Columbia sailing ship. Walt saw the riverboat going by one day, and everybody was looking. He looked and he said, "There's something missing," and they're like, "Oh my God, there's so much here." He had an extra ship. Everybody else thought things were too crowded, but he liked having a lot of things overlap and a lot of things intertwined. And as you can see, you have all of these rides that are kind of intertwined and yet feel very intrinsic to the whole park. And each one takes you to the next, wanting to ride the next thing and enjoy the next attraction. Here we have a real treat. The original Musketeers are at Disneyland. Can you imagine? We had Don and Grady, Annette Funicello, Don Grady, Lynn Reddy, and John Dodd, all there. We have Don Grady there signing. He went on to My Three Sons. He's signing an autograph. And Annette signing an autograph. And these girls remembered this day, and she didn't wash her hand for a week after getting this autograph from Don Grady. She was very excited. Yeah, Jimmy Dodd. With his Musketeer jacket there. Here they are, the choir singing for Christmas. And marching bands still appear regularly at Disneyland, coming from around the country. And there's Bobo the Clown, who was also part of the Mickey Mouse Club experience. And they still have that jacket of Bobo's in the Disney archives. Okay. Now we have a new family. This is the Kikuchi family. They're taking a photo there in front of the park. Mr. Kikuchi wasn't as good a photographer as the previous family, so things are a little jerky here, which is part of the great quality. They've got Polaroid cameras around their neck, and they're all set to go. This is 1958, and the new attraction is the Alice in Wonderland ride. So the park had been open for 3 years, and they were already adding things. The Columbia boat had also just opened that year. And again, the bright colors here of Fantasyland. It's been remodeled in the 80s, and they've changed the color palette significantly. They took out the Captain Hook ship, moved Dumbo back to add more space, and it was much different. You can still see some of the vegetation growing in. Here's Tomorrowland. Spaceman and Space Girl were characters in Tomorrowland from 1955 to 1970. So now we have Zorro in person over the Thanksgiving holidays. Imagine that. When you were a kid, if you watched Zorro on TV and then you suddenly hopped in your car and went down to Disneyland and saw him, I just don't know if I'd be able to contain myself. This was documented by editor George Wilburn, who worked for the Disney Company, and so he had special access. That's Henry Calvin, Sergeant Garcia greeting the crowd. There's a guy with a Zorro, a kid with a Zorro hat, and Senorita Jolene Brand there. And of course, Guy Williams, Zorro himself. Yeah. Quite a striking man. The actual cast members of the show participated in this Disneyland show from time to time. And it was a big attraction to go down and see them. And, you know, they would stage fights like this. The other cast members included Gene Sheldon, who was Bernardo, the mute servant, and Britt Lamond, who was the adversary, Captain Montesario. This is, I believe, in what was known as the Carnation Plaza area. Anxiously awaits. There he is, Zorro on his horse, riding through Frontierland. Again, we've got special access here because this was shot by a studio employee visiting. Zorro swinging down, quite an action show, a stunt show here. And he runs into the door, and when he comes out, it's Guy Williams instead of the stuntman. Didn't want to burst your bubble, but it's kind of nice staging there. As a kid, I would never figure that out. Once again, they're up on the top. Williams comes down. Pays to have a mask on your character. Now we have another day at Disneyland with another family, and these kids are just, does this not scream like 1960? And they're at Disneyland with their uncle, who's an editor, George Wilbur, and the uncle is busy with his family. So you see the family going through Disneyland, experiencing it, probably for the first time, or certainly one of the first times that they come in there. Here's a Jungle Cruise. You could buy an individual ticket for 50 cents. And as you can see, this long, unwieldy line that they're waiting for. Again, I think these kids are like, what is going to happen? This was an e-ticket ride. Those of you who went to Disneyland in the early years remember the various D, C, B, and A tickets, and E was the top level attraction. They've got the ears animated on the hippos. I think he is reacting to the gunshot that the tour guide would shoot the hippos and they would sink and submerge. The imagination is a wonderful thing. Here we are in Frontierland, the Davy Crockett Arcade. That's a petrified stump, which Lillian Disney gifted to Walt, and they placed it in Disneyland for all the public to see. There are actually people fishing there at Disneyland, which I just think, what would you do with a fish when you caught it for the rest of the day? Walt Disney designed himself. It was his inner child again, imagining what he would have liked to have been able to explore as a kid. With the fort and the caves and canoes. These stagecoaches circled around in the Frontierland area. They had a tendency to tip over, so they didn't last for many years. These are some of the very early characters that were there from the very beginning. And here we have kids riding the Peter Pan. You won't see a lot of footage inside these rides because at this time film wasn't that sensitive enough to really take scenes inside. I remember when I got my Kodak XL camera, it was able to do available light scenes, and that was a big deal in the early 70s. Monster known as Blinking Eye, and here we have the Dumbo ride. Again, painted a little differently. Is up there on his mirror globe, twirling around with his whip. Ticket prices in 1960: $3.75 would get you 10 rides as an adult. $4.75 would get you 15 rides. Kids, 10 rides was $2.75, and 15 rides was $3.75. So. You won't find those rates today. Mom gets into the act a little bit. Yeah. The intertwining there of the Storybook Canal rides and the Casey Jr. train. Again, original attractions. So for this family, it cost them, if they wanted to take 15 rides, the whole family got 15 rides for $24.50. And parking was a quarter. I think parking is like $18 now. Here we have a really great shot of Fantasyland with the submarine ride, which came in, and the Matterhorn came in 1959 with a huge addition to the park. And the monorail system as well. And of course, each kid got their own hat, their own choice of hat. So here we have Robin Hood. There's Jeff with his Robin Hood hat, a green one, of course. And of course, poke your brother in the eye with a feather. And I still think Disneyland has the best popcorn of anywhere. Part of it might be the cart.